This is Thundercats Armor of Omens, part of the new 2012 figures from Bandai. He is I guess he'd be considered a vehicle, but he is interactive with the 4-inch line. This guy, my personal opinion of him is he's okay. He has some good features, but he also has a lot of problems. If you're mostly a collector for display purposes and you just care what it looks like, then probably you'll like this guy, because he is cool looking. I don't think he's worth the $25 I got him for. It's probably even more than that online. Anyway, on to him in a second. Let's take a look at the packaging. Alright, it is cool packaging. It's that standard blue-green color scheme that they've been using, with a nice window on it. The picture's really cool. They really nailed the accuracy of the mold. Armor of Omens with lino. Here's the back. Picture of the figure, or vehicle, whatever you want to call it. How it can interact. And this is the rest of this is wave 2 of the 4-inch figures. I have reviewed all of these guys, and you can find them on my channel. And then here's the rest of the vehicles. I believe I have the Tiger Flyer. I will be reviewing that next. The Mumra Storm Chaser I haven't gotten yet. I haven't seen that one in stores yet. Alright, as always, he is a Thunderlynx figure, meaning he has a magnet set inside him. And any other Thunderlynx figure that has 4-inch figure that has the magnet in the back can interact with him. You put him in the suit and the magnets attract, and he lights up and makes sounds. He does make one sound without a figure in there. It's just the one, though. It's like let me see what it is. Oh, I have a figure in there, so I'm not going to do that right now. But as soon as you put a Thunderlynx figure in, he can make four sounds. Anyway, so he comes with a really big Sword of Omens. And you can see how big that is. Here it is next to a 4-inch figure. So it's a big sword. It is bent a little bit, but it's not that super flimsy plastic that they use with their 4-inch figures. I mean, you can still bend it, but it's a lot better. You could definitely boil this in hot water and reshape it, and I'm pretty sure it'll stick. I just haven't done it yet. One complaint about the sword is the detail on it is not great. I mean, it's pretty much non-existent. I don't know why they would decrease the detail, why you would scale down in detail for a larger sword. I mean, all it has is the red circle. I mean, the eye is molded in there, but you can't, there's no paint detail. It's really lame. Alright, so that sword, it fits into his hand. He doesn't have a very firm grip, and it doesn't look like he could hold a sword. See, and if you press the sword all the way down into that little corner of his hand, see how it's molded like that? That's the perfect size for the sword. So you just jam it in there, and then hold it very well. He's got a really firm grip on it, but you can still, move the sword around a little bit. So that's nice. And then he also comes with this tail. This tail is detached in the box when you first get it, and you have to just snap it on there. And the back of his hair, or mane, whatever you want to call it, that snaps off. And you have to put that on before you can use it. It does hinder the articulation in the head. So, alright. Oh, and he comes with a little 4-inch lino. I believe this is the same mold as the deluxe one that, maybe it's not, maybe it's a different one. I don't know, I think it came with the Thunder Racer maybe. But it's all gold. It's pretty cheap that they decided just to make, just paint it all gold. Anyway, he's got swivel arms, that's it. A swivel head, swivel hips, and hinge knees, that's it. Alright, onto the figure. The overall look of this guy is he does look cool. He looks pretty cool. He's I think it's kind of like a Cloudus Lion-O hybrid. So he's got the big mane, but there's just something very Lion-O about him. I think his shoulders and his this armor here looks pretty Lion-O, but he still looks more king-like and less prince-like. So I figure it's kind of a hybrid. All right, so one of the things it has going for it is the size. It's huge. I mean, you can. That's a 4-inch Lion-O right there, and he just towers over him. This is a 6-inch Mumra. I mean, he's almost 2 of him. He's big. So it's got that going for it. Unless you're a collector who has not much space, and then I don't know, you might want to pass. Anyway. So the mold, I like the mold. The sculpt of it is cool. It looks cool. It looks very, mech. It reminds me of almost like a terracotta warrior or something like that. The mold on his chest is my favorite. It's really cool looking, and it's got nice paint. It kind of reminds me of Voltron a little bit. The mold on his face is nice too. The hair and everything. One thing I would have liked to see is more detail, since it's such a big piece. They could have easily added a lot more detail when it comes to maybe sectionalizing the armor more and stuff, but that's not the hugest problem. Anyway, let's give you a better look at the armor. See, it's got plating here. The shoulders are nice. So are the armor on the hands. Here's this, I guess, tunic you would call it. But, I mean, even though it is a cool shape and design, it's really flat. It seems like it's real empty there. I wish they could have done more in there. Maybe like made tiny little armor chinks or just something. His feet are pretty cool, though. They're very tiger-like. That also reminds me of Voltron. Oops. There's a better close of his hands. His hands are cool. Alright, one thing you want to look for. When I found this at Walmart, there was 3 of them. And I bought this one, took it home. I didn't really inspect the package before I took it home. And then when I got it home, I realized that it had been returned. Because there were, 2 different layers of tape where there should have only been 1 on the box. And I noticed that this spike was bent. So I went to go exchange it, and I looked at all of them, and all 3 of them were bent, and all 3 of them had been returned. So you can see the spike's pretty good through the packaging. So just keep a lookout for that if you're gonna go buy this guy. So yeah, I think the sculpt and the size are the best part of this guy. Alright, so the paint is nice. He's got this black, I think the black might be dyed plastic. Maybe not, I'm not sure, I can't tell, but it looks nice. So he's got this black Under Armour. And that's all those places. And then the gold, here it's like it's not super glossy. It seems like a little bit more than a satiny. It reflects light really well. And right here on the chest piece, that's super glossy. It's like this orangish gold color, and it looks really cool in the light. And his face is pretty standard, as you can see. Alright, so let's look at what this thing can do. The articulation in the head, it's just a swivel. And it can only do about that much because of the mane. If you take the mane off, it's still not that much better. So I prefer to keep it in. The tail does twist a little bit. It's on a swivel, so it can do that. He has articulation in the shoulders, swivel articulation in the shoulders, a hinge elbow, a little bit of a swivel here, and that's it. Nothing else. He's got head, shoulders, elbow, and swivel. No articulation. And that is the big factor for me. I mean, You'd think a vehicle and something this size for 25 bucks could do a lot more, but it just can't. And that's why I'm not too happy with the figure. The mold is cool and everything, but the articulation, man, that's a real low point for me. Alright, so you open him up here. He can fit other 4-inch figures. He can fit Lino. He wouldn't be able to fit Panthro, he's too big, or Mumra transformed. I tried putting King Cloudus in there. I removed all of King Cloudus' armor, but his shoulders still couldn't fit in. But the smaller ones shouldn't be a problem. Oh, and Tygus could fit in there too. He's about the same size as Tigra. Alright, so here he is. He's got the magnet in his back. You see that? And there's a little piece right here where the magnet can snap in. And it works with any Thundercats figure that has that magnet and can fit. Okay, hold on. So without him, like I said, he'll still do sounds. There's a button on the back that you press. But until you put a Thunderlynx figure in there, he's only going to do that one sound. Alright, so once you get him in there, you'll be able to feel him snap in. He does come out real easy though. Alright, now he's in there. So I usually hold him in there with my thumb while I'm closing the armor. And when it closes, if you have him in there right, it'll let you know. Yep, got him in there. So now he'll go through a random cycle of sounds. And it is one that you don't have to wait for the sound to finish to get the next sound. So if you're getting a bunch of the same ones in a row, just see how I just skipped over that Thundercats ho? Alright, so that's what he can do. So, priority level. Should you get this guy? I mean, it really depends on your taste. I know that when I got him home, I mean, I was really excited when I saw him in the store. I said, oh, sweet, this looks awesome. So I bought it, put down the $25, and brought him home. And I was disappointed with him. I don't think he's worth the money. But, I mean, if you're a collector, a big Thundercats fan, and you just like stuff for display, I mean, like, if this pose is good enough for you, then by all means, get him. But to me, he's just not worth it. And I know, even though he had lax articulation, I think a little kid would get a lot of playability out of this, just from the sounds and just from putting the figure in and out. So that's it. That's pretty much what he can do. I found him at Walmart, but I feel like my Walmart got all the new Thundercats stuff way ahead of all the other ones. Because online, I mean, everybody's asking me where I got it and nobody can find anything. Alright, so upcoming reviews. Like I said, check my channel for all the new 4-inch Wave 2 Thundercats. And I got the Tiger Flyer with Tygus coming up next. This guy. Alright, until next time, keep collecting.